What up, everybody? Going all the way back to Power Season 1, Episode 1, when Ghost first saw Angela at Club True. When they spoke, they mentioned that it had been 18 years since the last time they saw each other. They mentioned this again 2 more times in the same episode, when Angela was looking at herself in the mirror and said, "Not bad for 18 years later." Then when Ghost and Tommy were riding in Tommy's Mustang, and Ghost said it had been 18 years. Power Season 1 premiered in 2014, so if you subtract 18 years, that will get us to 1996, lining up perfectly with the initial Raising Kanan teaser video that showed Ghost, Tommy, and Angela in high school in the year 1996. This was most likely either in May or August of 96, and either at the end of their junior year or the beginning of their senior year, as Angela was about to transfer to Choate. At this point in time, Ghost and Tommy were already in the game and working for Kanan. Getting me to Power Episode 2, where something very, very interesting happens, and a major clue to consider while watching Raising Kanan. Angela decided to use her authority to do a background check on Ghost, and during this scene it shows that Ghost's birthday is April 4th, 1974. So because of the big deal that was made in Episode 1 about it being 18 years since the last time they saw each other in high school, then the very next episode to deliberately show that Ghost was born in 1974, making him 22 years old in 1996. It's obvious to me that they were purposely letting us know this without blatantly saying it on the show. This also makes Ghost 1 year older than Kanan, who was born in 1975. Getting me to the big question, why was Ghost 23 years old when he graduated high school? This isn't even the first time we've seen a situation like this in Power. Keep in mind that Zeke Cross was also 23 years old his freshman year of college. But Zeke didn't know his real age or who his real parents even were. And somehow, this is the reason he got into school late. Now, considering it was said in Power Season 2, Episode 10 by Tommy, that Ghost had no mom, it's definitely possible that Ghost had a similar situation occur in his life that caused him to get a late start in school. But I also want to look at it from another angle. Considering Ghost had no mother, and his father was said to be a drunk in the same conversation, it's safe to say that Ghost most likely didn't have much supervision as a kid. You mix that with the fact that Ghost was also a genius, and that's going to cause problems. For example, if the schoolwork was too easy for Ghost, there's a good chance that he was disturbing the class and not listening to the teachers. Also take truancy into consideration. That Ghost might not even been showing up to school on a regular basis because the fact his father was a drunk who had to stay up late tending to his bar, so it's probably hard for him to get up in the mornings consistently to get Ghost to school. And the other factor to take into consideration is most likely Ghost was getting into a lot of fights and getting suspended on a regular basis. So you add a combination of these circumstances that I just mentioned, and there you have it, a 23-year-old senior in high school. Then take D-Mac into consideration, who was also a genius, but got into the streets at a young age and dropped out of school because he had no parental supervision. So I also think there's a chance that Ghost wasn't even going to school until he moved in with Kate and Tommy. Then Kate signed him up for school and put him in the same grade as Tommy. Getting me back to the video I made a couple days ago asking the question, was 2 of them delivery boys working for Kanan, young Ghost and Tommy? Because like I said, there was 2 kids from the group who resembled young Ghost and Tommy from the original Raising Kanan teaser video. The only difference being the 2 delivery boys were in some old raggedy clothes, while young Ghost and Tommy from 96 were in nicer clothes. But obviously, after spending a couple years in the game, your clothes are going to get a lot nicer. But there was also another clue from this scene alone. Look at the type of bag that the character who is potentially playing young Ghost is carrying. This is the same type of bag both Tommy and Ghost are carrying in 96, but the bags were just a lot nicer in 96. In the current Raising Kanan timeline, the kid who potentially plays Tommy doesn't even have a backpack and had to carry the brown paper bag that Kanan gave him in his hands. But this would line up with Tommy's childhood story that he was too poor to afford a backpack. Also notice how the kid who potentially would be Tommy had either a cast on both hands or bandages all over his hands. Again, this would line up with Tommy's story that he had to fight every day after school. I think Kate even made Tommy be a bouncer when he was still in middle school. But considering the fact that Tommy was always getting jumped and has to carry the brown paper bag in his hands, I can definitely see a situation playing out where Tommy gets jumped for the brown bag and Ghost has to step in and get the bag back for him. Also keep in mind the story that Kate told Holly, how Tommy used to get beat up every day after school for being the only white boy in the neighborhood. Until one day, Ghost dealt with two boys picking on Tommy, and nobody ever picked on him again after that. Personally, I would love for this scene to be how Tommy and Ghost are officially introduced to Raising Kanan. And for those who commented on my last video saying there's no way that was Ghost and Tommy, please keep in mind that it was stated repeatedly in OG Power that Tommy was the only white boy in the whole neighborhood. Even Uncle Gabe knew who Tommy was when Ghost said, "Remember him? The only white boy in the neighborhood?" So if Tommy was the only white boy in the whole neighborhood, and that delivery boy wasn't Tommy, who is he then? Because it doesn't line up with the original story. We also know from Force Season 1 from a conversation between Diamond and Tommy that Tommy got his start out in the game selling weed and was said to be happy just to be amongst the number, lining up with Kanan and his delivery boys. And also, one last thing before I go, the name Tommy was spray painted on the wall where Rock was about to buy the beauty salon at. This was definitely a clue. I think it's a subtle clue letting us know that those two couriers were indeed Ghost and Tommy. Also keep in mind how in Power Season 1, Ghost and Tommy was also using the courier system to deliver their product. Did they learn that from Kanan? And also backtracking to the name spray painted on the wall. In Power Season 5, when Ghost, Tommy, Angela, and Tasha went back to their old school, Tommy's name, saying Tommy Tom, was written in cursive the same type of way on the chalkboard. And I was even told, even though I don't know this for sure, that Tommy's first arrest was for tagging. And there you have it. Ghost is 1 year older than Kanan, confirmed. I had to go ahead and do it for everyone blowing up my comments on my last video, claiming that Ghost and Tommy were 5, 6, even 10 years younger than Kanan. Not true, y'all. Never confirmed on the show. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.